it feels like Groundhog Day. It's got that feeling of it. There we go, siren's gone. So Theresa May is rumoured to bring back her failed Brexit deal for the fourth time. But this time she's saying it's new and improved and it gives workers' rights protections. Of course, we can't see it, and she's only going to bring it back after the European elections. So she's putting out another promise. Hey, vote for Conservatives in the EU elections, and then I can show you this thing that isn't actually going to exist. I mean, seriously, at this point, who's still buying Theresa May's lies? I mean, I'm not going to say she's up there with Donald Trump, who's told now over 10,000 lies since taking office, but fuck me, she's told more than a fair few. She lies in Parliament every single time she's there, and she gets away with it because it's not honourable to call someone out on their lies. Personally, I don't think it's that honourable to lie barefaced to the public on so many fucking things, but that's where we're at. So Theresa May's ploy to encourage people to vote for the Conservative Party in the EU elections is, hey, I've reworked this deal that no one likes, it's now great, so vote for us and then I'll tell you what's in it. Labour, on the other hand, Corbyn has made it very, very clear that he is a Brexiteer, and I'm pretty sure he would see us leave with no deal without batting an eyelid. Now, Corbyn's reasons for leaving the EU are not the same as Jacob Rees-Mogg, who is a self-serving, nearly said a very bad word then, but a self-serving arsehole. That's the nicest way I can put it. But still, leaving the EU would be a terrible move for the UK, and certainly leaving within a few years, because we just don't have the infrastructure that the EU have been building to mitigate losing the United Kingdom. Of course, then we also have the issue of Northern Ireland and the IRA flaring up again. I mean, they didn't entirely go away in the first place, but now acts of violence are becoming a lot more prevalent, and is spurred on by fuckknuckles like Jacob Rees-Mogg and Boris fucking Johnson insulting them at practically every chance that they get and saying that they don't really matter in the long run. So leaving the EU is a horrible, horrible thing to do, and yet it seems that the two biggest parties, Conservatives and Labour, will happily see us go. It's interesting to think of what the possibilities of the local election, the EU elections, are going to be, and who's going to take away from this. Now, I have a feeling that Lib Dems are going to sweep the floor, and I have mixed feelings about this because I've been burnt by the Lib Dems. In 2010, I voted for the Lib Dems, and they went in with David Cameron and helped to destroy this country, or at least set us on a path of destruction where the NHS, education, police, fire and rescue, military services and civil services across the board have been gutted. And very recently, when Theresa May was facing the vote of no confidence, or the tabled motion of no confidence from Corbyn, Vince Cable, the head of the Lib Dems, came out and said, no, we back Theresa May, which means you back universal credits, you back the destruction and privatisation of the NHS, you back the cutting of, well, everything that I've just said. So it would be interesting to see what they would do. I mean, it's terrifying because this is the future of the UK, and let's face it, once we're out of the European Union, we can't just say, oh yeah, shit, this isn't working, please take us back. It doesn't work that way. We will be ripe for the picking of American corporations. Even if we get on WTO, which is not the saviour that... Try not to swear. But it's not what Jacob Rees-Mogg or Nigel Farage say it is. And they have been called out for their lies. If BBC was worth a damn, they would keep calling them out on their lies. But even going on WTO terms, that doesn't mean we'd have an automatic deal with the EU, because we failed to agree a deal with the EU. Being on WTO, Europe still has a choice, and they won't deal with us on WTO, at least not for a long time. And of course, America can step in at any point and just screw us over, which is something that American corporations and American lobbyists and American politicians have said that they want to do. Russia stands to gain from this amazingly. So does America. Debatably, so does China, especially with Theresa May still pushing for Huawei to still have a huge hand in building our 5G network, which is a massive security risk, and yet she's still going forward, unwilling to take in new information. Honestly, she copies Donald Trump far, far too much. But that's where we're at. We're in a Groundhog Day where Theresa May is bringing back the same defeated deal. And we're left in a situation where we're facing very likely a no-deal Brexit, but it does depend on who and how the next few weeks actually go. Theresa May has been given strict orders that she has to step down. I mean, technically she doesn't have to, but she is kind of being forced into it. And then, of course, the Conservatives have 2 weeks to agree on a leader. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure that would trigger a general election and then flip a coin to see where we go. But even if we stay in the EU, if enough people send over enough useless Brexit Party members for the European Parliament, well, we've lost a lot of power in the EU because we've just sent over a load of people who never want to do their fucking job. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.